A woman claims that opening a Home Depot credit card actually cost her her mortgage. Let's discuss. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur and welcome to my channel. I thank you for joining us. So it is well known that whether it be a regular credit card or a store credit card, you should always think twice before you actually apply for and open new credit. Now there is a lot of debate about the validity of store credit cards. It is very obvious that store credit cards are not the most practical credit cards you can get. They usually exist to help the store out more than to help you out. However, they do come with some nice benefits sometimes, and under the right circumstances and depending how much you actually go there, it might even be good for you to get one if you are, going there an awful lot, or maybe you're an entrepreneur and they might have a specific service that means you shop there a lot, and thus a store credit card would not necessarily be the worst thing in the world to get. However, one woman got on TikTok and had a very emotional video about the dangers of opening store credit cards, and I think it's worth discussing. However, before we do that, I'd like you all to do me a favor if you are new here and hit that subscribe button and smash that like. I thank you very much for doing so, and if you are already a subscriber, well, thank you for returning. I really do appreciate it. So the story of this woman is definitely an interesting one. The story involves that she decided to go to a Home Depot one day to pick up a can of paint. While she was there, the lady helping her out asked if she would open a store credit card, and feeling that the lady was really nice and that it would mean a lot to her, she decided to open said credit card, and then this happened.
This is a PSA for anyone that's in a store and then the people say to you, do you want to open a credit card? I always say no. On this particular day, the lady at Home Depot was so nice and she was wearing a sticker and just seemed like it was really special and important to her that I open a card. So I opened a card and then I forgot. I just totally forgot that I opened a card, and I am buying a house. And it turns out that my credit, because I forgot I opened a card in May, is like plummeted over 100 points for my mortgage. So Home Depot, this is how much is on my card. This is how much I owed. For a $9 can of paint, I am now probably not gonna get a mortgage on a house. This is the dumbest thing I've ever done. Just don't open credit cards at stores. It will ruin your life.
Alright, so it's hard not to watch that video and get really frustrated. I mean, you go in and you spend $5 on a can of paint, you forget to pay the credit card off, and then you owe Home Depot about $7.58, something along that line, and now your credit score drops 100 points. The shame of Home Depot. Boy, these credit cards are predatory. But the unfortunate thing is, a lot of this is unfortunately on the person's part, but I do think there is a learning lesson that we should discuss. Now, the first thing we should discuss is if you are going to apply for any type of loan, a house, a mortgage, a car loan, a personal loan, it really doesn't matter what kind of loan it is. It could be a business loan. That's what most of the people watching this channel would probably be applying for, is like a business line of credit. It doesn't matter which one of these you're going to apply for. If you're going to apply for any of these, it is best to not open any new credit cards for the prior 6 months if possible, because the lenders will look at you as a little risky if you have just opened new credit, because people who open new credit cards tend to use credit. Therefore, if you have just recently opened them, they might be a little more weary on lending you money. Not only that, but opening a new credit card will put a couple dings on your account, one for the hard pull inquiry and the other for actually getting the card. Now, you rebound from this relatively quickly, but there is already going to be some dings to your credit report just by opening this card. So if this woman was getting ready to get a house and it was like just around the corner that she wanted to apply for a mortgage and everything, then this was already not a wise thing to do. She should not have opened the card at all, because that was already going to hurt her chances with the mortgage. But then it got worse when she used it and she didn't pay it off. Now, she makes a big point that this is a less than $10 purchase. She owes Home Depot less than $10. Obviously, she could easily pay this off right now. And she is just flabbergasted that the credit score dropped so much because she forgot to make one payment for this $7 purchase. First of all, the amount, frankly, is irrelevant in this story. I mean, I know it sounds like, oh, that's a horrible thing to do. It just went over $7 and now you lost 100 points. But keep in mind, this sort of thing happens all the time. Like, you go to a bank and you overdraft on your ATM card and you have the, overdraft protection. Like, the bank will honor that purchase and they will pay it for you. But not only do you have to pay back the money that you have now overdrafted, they're going to charge you a $40 overdraft fee. It doesn't matter whether you overdrafted by $300 or $3, it's just a flat $40 overdraft fee. So the amount doesn't matter. But then the second thing is, it's not that she forgot to pay back $7. That is not the issue in the eyes of FICO, TransUnion, all those companies that track your credit score. It was the fact that she did not pay it back. Now, one thing that she did not mention in this TikTok, and I think this was an omission by, this was omitted on purpose, let's be honest, is that when you charge a card, with the exception of Credit One works by its own set of rules. Be very careful of Credit One credit cards. But the vast majority of credit cards, when you owe them money, you have 30 days from the purchase date, I should say, to pay it off. And then they will send you a notification that you owe money. Now, if you are late paying that credit card, you actually do typically have a grace period. And it varies from bank to bank, from card to card. Sometimes it's 7 days, sometimes it's 30. But the bottom line is you usually do have a grace period because people do forget things, and that's why they send you a bill. This woman almost certainly got a bill before this amount was due, and either she ignored it or she totally completely forgot that she signed up for the credit card and didn't even open it, threw it away, probably thought it was junk mail. And so when she was notified that she was owed money and she was late and she missed the grace period, then guess what? That's what hurt her credit score. At that point, then Home Depot reported it to FICO and her credit score went way, way down. And again, the amount is frankly not relevant here. She could have not paid them back $7,000 and the drop in points probably would have been the same, if not very comparable, in the sense that what it showed is that she owed money, she missed the deadline to pay that back, and now she is a higher risk in the future of not paying things back. And I sympathize with frustration. Look, I have not missed a payment on a credit card in a very, very long time, but I did fairly recently make a mistake. That means I can sympathize with this woman, and I can also say, like, this was also my fault though. You see, I've been using my credit cards to build my business now. I have not paid any interest on the credit cards. I have not paid any overdraft fees or anything, but there was one particular card. It was a USAA card, and I maxed it out getting some PlayStation 5s and Xboxes. Now, it was all budgeted out. I was underneath what was owed, and I even had sent a payment of a couple $1,000s a few days after making the charges. However, there was enough room there for my insurance. I made sure there was enough money for the insurance. And then my wife, wasn't really her fault. She did nothing wrong. This just was not communicated very well. She had to go get gas. Now, she usually uses the PlayStation card to get gas. For whatever reason, the PlayStation card was not working, so she used the USAA. Simple, right? Well, the problem was it caused the USAA card to go over by $5. It went over by $5. That's it. $5. And it didn't even go over $5 for very long. Really, it was just like a day, because the following day, those $2,000 cleared. But it went over just long enough for USAA to report that to FICO. It showed that I had exceeded my credit limit, and thus my scores tanked. I lost 30 points on Experian. I lost like 70 points on TransUnion. It was a bad, bad day in the Rodriguez household. And yeah, that was an honest mistake, and it definitely taught me a lesson, because I'd never gotten the cards that close to max out before. And by the way, that card is paid off now. You know, it's perfectly fine. It's kind of a shame that it was just like a 1-day overdraft basically, but it was just enough to drop my score. Now I got to build that score back up, and that's kind of what this woman found herself in. Yeah, it was only $7, but you know what? She didn't pay it in time. It went over, and then she got dinged hard. Hopefully she can still get a mortgage. It probably will not be for the rate that she was hoping to get it for, but hopefully this will be just a learning lesson, like a huge lesson you could learn, that it doesn't matter what the amount is, pay off your bills when the statement balance is due. Credit cards can be great. I advocate responsible spending all the time. But look, things happen. I'm proof of that. That thing that happened, that wasn't planned. That was a mistake, but it doesn't matter. Mistakes can cost you. I learned that the hard way, and she learned that the hard way. And hopefully, if you're watching a video like this, hopefully you will know this in advance, and you're not watching this video because something similar happened, and now you're kind of looking for a quick fix. And the answer is there's really no quick fix. You can basically pay off your debt, you can keep it down for a while, and then eventually we'll go back up. But these mistakes cost you a lot, and for a few months you're going to be hurting when you make these mistakes. But anyway, I would like to know what you all think about this. Do you think this woman was in the right, or do you think she was in the wrong? Do you think that this could have easily been avoided? Or do you think this is completely unfair, that this should never have happened in the first place, regardless whether or not she should have paid her bill on time? I would love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.